Did St. Paul condone paganism? Critics often point out that St. Paul used pagan symbols, architecture, and even pagan philosophers to explain Christianity. But St. Paul was a strict Pharisee before his conversion, last person you'd expect to endorse pagan idolatry. In this video, we'll explore why St. Paul used pagan symbols and concepts to explain Christianity. Connection. St. Paul used pagan concepts to connect with his audience. He was a well-traveled man during his time, traveling almost the entirety of the Roman Empire. He was also highly educated, being part of the Pharisees before he converted to Christianity, meaning he knew the Bible like the back of his hand. The use of pagan culture was just the medium for how he connected to his audience. Otherwise, they may not have paid attention to him. It's like retention on YouTube. How do I maintain the best retention without losing people? You have to keep it engaging. Paul knew this, and he knew the ancient Greeks loved philosophy. When he spoke to the Greeks at the Areopagus in Athens, he didn't start with the Old Testament because they wouldn't care. Instead, he quoted their own Greek poet, "For in him we live and move and have our being." He took their altar, which was inscribed to an unknown god, which was originally written about the Greek god Zeus. But Paul said, "Let me tell you who this god actually is." He used their culture as a bridge to the gospel. Transformation. St. Paul knew the Greeks had knowledge of God, but he realizes they just didn't understand what that God actually was. He wanted to help them move away from idolatry and polytheism and move toward the one true God. So he used their own concepts to transform ideas into Christian truths. Like the example in the previous section, St. Paul quotes the Greeks' own philosophers, not to condone pagan beliefs, but to repurpose their partial truths to the whole truth. Because he knew the Greeks, with just their philosophy, understood that God existed, but they were still under polytheism. St. Paul uses their own culture to point toward the fullness of revelation in Christ. And using his biblical worldview and revelation of Christ, he answers their own question: what is God? He shows that Catholicism is not a pagan belief, but a fulfillment to all other religions and philosophies. Paul understood that there is an objective truth. No matter its surroundings, the truth of God can be found. And in all these pagan ideas and concepts, he gives them a new Christian meaning. Paul and the church fathers call this repurposing plundering the gold of Egypt. Take the term logos, which means word in English. In Greek philosophy, the logos was a cold, cosmic, and personal force ordering the universe. But in the Gospel of John, the apostle takes that familiar pagan concept and transforms it. The logos became flesh and dwelt among us. They didn't adopt pagan theology, they reclaimed the partial truth within it and fulfilled it in Christ. And St. Paul does the same thing in his letters. Critiquing falsehoods. St. Paul uses pagan concepts to critique false beliefs. To set the scene, Titus is one of St. Paul's helpers, who is helping to lead the church on the island of Crete, an island off the main coast of Greece. St. Paul notices an issue on the island, so he writes to Titus. In his letter, he warns Titus about the problems he is facing on the island. The primary group Titus was fighting was known as the Circumcision Party, who believed that Gentile Christians had to follow Mosaic law, meaning they had to be circumcised to be saved. Paul quotes a Cretan named Epimenides, a 6th century BC philosopher and poet. Cretans have always been liars, vicious beasts, and lazy gluttons. Paul acknowledges that this statement is true about the local populace. Crete had a notorious reputation for deception, greed, and pagan mythology. They were blending the gospel with their past pagan culture. Paul used this quote from one of their own teachers to show that they profess to know God, but they deny him by their works. Paul used their own cultural authorities to critique bad morals or false teachings, grounding his final authority in a biblical worldview. By quoting their own, he helps to unmask false teachers. He contrasts truth with culture and warns against greed. So as you can see, Catholicism does not condone the pagan way, but realizes that it can be repurposed. And St. Paul, he was one of the best evangelizers and defenders of the faith using this method. He met the people where they are in order to spread the gospel. By using their culture and symbols and what was special to them, he draws a real connection. He gives them a new Christian meaning and corrects false teachings. Yet he's not the only one who did this. Many church fathers like St. Augustine or Justin Martyr did this as well. In today's culture, these methods still apply, whether it be through modern entertainment, the digital environment, or whatever we do that is part of our culture. It could be as small as putting a Bible verse on your face while playing a game of football in front of millions of people like Tim Tebow. It's all about meeting someone where they are. Now, if you're still here and watching this, let me know what you think about St. Paul in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and follow for more interesting Catholic theology.